Top of the morning to you. Hey, I'm Michael. Grandkids call me Roo. Thanks for being on the show. Here's the fuzzy heads up cam just to give you a little good morning here. This comes off my computer. See my break wall behind me. You know, behind this screen that's here on this shot here, this is the shot that you normally see. There's a black backdrop next to these. That's just there's another editing computer back there where I do video work. I've been working at a stand-up desk for a long time. This is the most I've sat down in years, and I sit down here to paint. And I always painted on a stool or higher up at the art bar. So it's taken me a while to really get my arm back up and lift and do those sort of things. But man, thanks again for being with me last night. So many of you were. I feel like I was just at this desk. Was I? The desk that's right here. Just left a pile. In fact, let me put these glasses up. Hold on one second. I got... Yeah, I have this thing about readers. You know, if you just have enough readers piled all over the house, then you will somehow, and these are new. Hey, these I haven't even worn yet. Just took the label off of them. I don't know. I feel like, where are they? There they are right there. I feel like if I'm wearing these, maybe I'm, where is that heads up shot? If I'm wearing these, well, these are blue, so there's not much difference. There they are right there. Oh, those are kind of nice. Boy, is the lens beautiful. You know, after a while, I do clean them regularly, and I have a beautiful cloth here. But after a while, my yellow scarf is because it's cold today, and I have a hard time. I just got 2 new scarves for Christmas. Carol gave me some cashmere, you know, from those lovely coats, and I got to tell you, I don't want to be doing ink and splattering with the cashmere on. I don't mind about my white shirts because this one's already got stuff in it. But this is actually one of those. But it's a Young Life scarf that we were at one of the properties, and Carol got this for me. And so today my neck was cold. It's chilly here. They say it's supposed to snow. Whoever they is, those people that keep up with. Here, I'm going to get these out of the way. I don't want to splatter my new glasses either. So I took my long scarf off because it's usually hanging around. Then I look on it and I think, what is that on my scarf? And I go, oh my gosh, it's watercolor paint. And I can't do that to my new scarf. So I put something, my neck was cold. So I put this on. I might have to get rid of it here if it heats up in the office. But it's supposed to snow here, so we'll see. Minnesota, welcome. Let me say hello to some of you. Thanks for being on the show. Skeeter Powell. Man, you jumped on early this morning, my dear friend. Hey, look, we'll watch the weather and see what happens. Probably be out of here. You know, I'm in southern Charlotte, but the mountains are supposed to get snow, supposed to drift in on us. We're supposed to get, I don't know, maybe, you know, they say anywhere from nothing to sleet and frozen roads to 3 or 4 inches. But west of us, the mountains will get a lot. And then north of us, the mountains will get a whole lot more. So it's kind of fun. Haven't had our first snow yet. I'm not going to paint a snow scene. I had that one out in Waynesville and froze to death. So I'm going to stay inside today. Laurie Belushi, thank you for being here. 10 degrees in Attica, New York. Woo-hoo-hoo. Yeah, I'm not that cold. Kim Sheets, good morning. Hey, I got to tell you, some of you people need a job in stand-up comedy. You're the punniest people I've ever worked with. You know, my boys are grown, have families now. A new grandson. He's an adopted grandson in our family, and it's just wonderful. It's been a sad but a glorious situation of a little boy whose life will be different because of some folks in our family. My younger son, they've been fostering him for a long time, and it's just become. It's tragic on one side that he can't go back to his family, the other side, but they'll keep him connected, but they'll raise him. He's a cool child. I'll introduce you to him this next year. He'll just be turning 3, and they've had him over a year, loving on him and caring for him. So I feel like a new grandfather this morning. That's kind of fun, huh? And, basically what got me into that? Oh yeah. I never miss a pun with my boys. Sometimes I'll just send out a little pun. And I send out a little dad joke, you know, bad dad jokes, and they share it to their boys and other kids. And so anyway, some of you last night, I'm telling you, I need to steal your material. It's that good. Thank you for being on the show last night. I loved it very much. Thank you for honoring and sharing my paintings around. I'm very flattered. I'm very honored, and I'm just grateful for this community. Michelle, thank you for being on the show. John Robert Small, good morning, man. John Robert Small was probably second in line to Connie. In fact, John Robert Small bid on more things last night. She was chasing a dragonfly and a rooster, and so I had a little one here on the desk, and I'll send her. And John, I do need to get you one of my roos. So make sure I have your address, and I'm sure I have it written down because I have a beautiful painting that stays in our kitchen, and people talk to it all the time. It's one of your coffee cups, but I want to send you a painting, my dear friend. Nancy Catlett, thanks for being on the show. Karen Bender, Linda Schleitning from Ohio. Linda was firing off the puns last night. Lynn Swain Brown, Mary Hamilton, Donna Sell Barton. Good morning from White Snowed, Missouri. White Snowed, that'd be a good name for a town. I live in White Snowed. Karen Bender, hello. Judy Walder, thank you for being on the show. Deborah Tauber. Hey, Tom, woo-hoo-hoo. The lobster painter himself is on the show today. If you haven't followed Tom and his crazy cast of characters and creatures that he puts together, not only does he have this wild imagination and sense of wit and writing style, but he has this architectural concept of sketching that his characters are just wonderful. So I love it much. And I think of him often too, because right down on the art bar, there's the Vitruvian lobster. Love that thing. Linda Linhart, good morning from you. Thank God for the furnace. That'd be good. You can start there. Karen Piker, thanks for being on the show from Santa Clara, California. I bet it's a little warmer out there. I was thinking about California this morning. I want to go back to the Getty Museum. I really do. The Getty Museum just blew my mind, and so I want to go back there. Paula Lynn, Cindy Wiltermood, great artist you are. Sue Kane, all the way from South Australia. Sue, I don't know when you sleep. You were on last night, and then now you're back up. Maybe you're just getting ready to go to bed. Is that it? I don't know. I need to just put Sue's clock on the wall over there. You know how people have New York and France and Jerusalem. You know, Carol has two watches. She has a watch that has two faces. I don't know if you've ever seen those. It is a watch that has, I'm pointing at my arm. You can't even see it here. She has a watch that has two faces, two small little faces, and people go, why does your watch have two faces? She said, this is where I am, and this is where I want to be. And so for many years, one of them was sent to Paris, and which is basically the same, but it's sent to the Middle East, it's sent to Jerusalem. She goes, I'm here, I'd like to be here. And so it's really kind of fun. But love having you guys on the show. Diane Gregory, Lynn Burr, good night. Dorothy Beasley, thank you guys for just piling on. Beverly Schmidt, all the way from, and Gail Anderson, all the way from Greenville. But Gail Anderson, thank you for being on the show. Good morning, all. Congratulations to all the winners from the auction. Yeah, and I have seen the numbers on my email. So those of you who purchased last night, send me that email. I've seen a lot of them. It was so late when I finally shuffled off, and I didn't even close the lids on my paint and stuff. It's just a mess here on the desk. There's this piece, and then of course here's this from yesterday's demo with Yasutoma. Thank you for coming on board. I got a note from Phoebe, and I got a note from Karen Larsons, who both said, oh my gosh, thank you all so much for making that live Facebook cast so fun for them and their small company out in Torrance, California. Yasutoma Company. They sell good products, and they really listen to artists. So if you have suggestions for them, wouldn't it be fun if we had one of these or had one of those or needed this? And for me, it was a learning experience that I just absolutely loved. It was fantastic. I want to do it again. I'm like, ooh, I love being a student. You know, I'm on this end of it, and I'm always painting, and you guys are watching me do something, and you know my talent is only about this deep. And I feel like I can dig into people like that, because some of you start, and what it is sometimes is you just need the jumper cables on a cold morning. You just need somebody to go, and you go, okay, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to continue with that this morning right here. I have been using this Kilimanjaro book for a while, and you know how this works. It's one of my favorite Cheap Joe's products. And so let me talk about it just for a second. Here's what I mean by this. Let's put on a piece of music here that's kind of different. This book has a piece of 300-pound watercolor paper in it here. In fact, I just received 2 jars of honey from Mike Paramore down in Thomasville, Georgia. He's an apiarist down there, and I'm gonna we traded off for a couple of paintings. But he is a watercolor artist, and he sent me a copy of his painting, but he also sent me a small little 300-pound paper just a little bonnet. You know, my dad called it his bee bonnet. You know, it was his hat with his veil and a smoker that like he used. It's a great little sketch, but there's a 300-pound piece in the beginning here. And then they have these little flyers, which I call them the flyer page, but it's sketch paper, and it's probably about 100-pound sketch paper. And I really like this paper. I'm going to show you what I like about it. I'm going to paint on a couple of them here this morning. They're great too. They also are good cover leaves for your paintings if you're going to continue painting. But if you pull through these, there's one above each one. Here is the 140-pound paper, and I love the fact that they built these rings strong enough to rip the paper out. You know, sometimes you'll buy a little notebook from a big box store, and you'll start to rip the paper out, and you pull the spring apart. Drives me crazy. And it drives me crazy to the point where I will go down and clamp one end in my vise, take the other end around my electrician's pliers, and I'll pull out the spring to see how long it is. Sometimes it's 7 or 8 feet long, and I'm thinking, you're wasting a lot of wire. Why don't you just use better wire? Yeah, that's kind of the crazy guy I am. But I'm going to paint on a piece of this morning. So I'm going to rip a piece out, see how well that did. So that's out of the paint book. Let me just knock my microphone down and make all kinds of noise. That's out of the paint book. It's called Kilimanjaro. Why do I paint on this? I'll tell you why. It forces me to stay small and quick and loose, okay? Whereas sometimes big paintings are hard to control. They're harder to learn for me, okay? You know, there's a story in Noodle Doodle Fiddle Piddle about me meeting a lady in an art store who had like a 3x5 foot canvas wedged into the cart, and she goes, hey, you look like an artist, can I help you? And I go, well, I think like one. And it's the story where she says, well, am I starting too big? And I want to say, ma'am, you have no idea. But I kind of took it in a lane, and read the story if you have it. It's in Noodle Doodle Fiddle Piddle, and it's about starting small and fast and loose, and yet setting your sights on a big canvas someday to do. I've done some big canvases, and every now and then I'll just branch out and I'll do a big piece. I love small pieces of art. I love, even last night, I'm sitting there and I'm throwing down some bluebirds and things like that and just having fun because I've cleared off my desk of paintings that I think are really good and fun for you to share. And I wonder, where are these going to turn up? Where are these going to, no pun intended on the vegetables there. Where are these going to go that people say, hey, I got this in an auction and I'm giving it to someone else, or I'm going to frame this and put it here by a window or by the back door or where I feed the birds, or that's exciting to me. And small art can do that. So there's my little pitch again on small art from this 10 inches by 5.5. So theoretically, you'll get about a 9.5 painting. You'll wind up with about a 5x9, 5x8 painting. Even frame sometimes 5x7, which is an easy frame to come by. Let me show you what I'm going to do this morning. I'm going to paint on this first, and here's why. This is the 140-pound paper. I sold a painting last night that I really wanted to keep, and I just got in a rush, and I loved it, and it was a wiry little Roo that I painted with some liquid watercolor, and I loved his splash, I loved his style, and I want to repeat that. He was very loose, and so here we go. So I'm going to paint that this morning for you right here. Randall Taylor Craven, thanks for being on the show. Tiffany Lyons, Glenda Edwards Small, Virginia Man, thank you for being on the show and bidding on all sorts of things. Deborah Spangler, June Jones, oh, what a night. But Pat Brooks, thank you very much. Just talking about the book. Appreciate you and your talent. Laura Belushi says she forgot about the sale last night. Okay, so those of you who did forget about the sale or didn't make the auction last night, there are about maybe 7, 8, 10 pieces that I have, and I'm going to sort them out. Some of the veggies, some of the bees. I'm going to put those out on my Roodoodles Etsy site later this morning. It'll probably be midday or later. I'll tell you why, because I think I'm going to leave here and go have a French pastry with Carol before the illustrious potentate snow comes in, if it does. Okay, so we're going to go out and just say, let's go out and enjoy a cup of coffee, just sitting in a little, the Renaissance patisseria. Yes, and the man who leads, the man who is the chef there is from France, and he settled here in Charlotte. And so it's been fun to get to know him. I'm just going to grab, I'm going to grab this pen again. This is the Extreme Gel pen from Yasutoma. I really do like it. And thanks for liking my scarf. I think I told you it's a Young Life, just a little Young Life buff, they call them, you know. And it feels good because I'm not painting on one of my, I'm not painting with one of my big scarves on this morning. Okay, Jeanette Seal, love it, love it, love it. Good morning, Jacqueline. Woo, 15 degrees feels like minus 24. It's minus 15. I don't. Okay, I don't need to be there. John Robert Small, would you send me your address, sir, please? Missy Stillwell, thank you being on from Hendersonville, North Carolina. Missy, I love to hang out in Hendersonville. I love Flat Rock. I love the bakery in Flat Rock. Of course, I go to when I'm there, I go hang out with my friend David in the Appalachian Coffee Company. I wrote their stories on their bags and helped them do some videos early on. That was kind of fun. He was roasting and tasting coffee. All right, here we go. I'm going to jump ahead here. Judy Y'all, thanks for being on the show. Joy Eakin. Melina Phillips. All right, you people. Hey, I love that you pay attention to each other and you help each other be artists. That is so awesome. Heather No Rush on that. Crystal McElhaney, whose name I mess up constantly. Pat Normandale. Love you guys being on the show. All right, Gene Anthalzer. I may have said hello. Rander Taylor Craven. Here we go. Let's do this right here. Let's do it this way. All right, I'm gonna have him going to my left, so that's where my wedding ring is, over here, and let's just put on a little light thought processing music here. Let's see if this works. Come out of nowhere here in just a minute. Be the quietest music I've ever heard, huh? Oh! Sneaking up on me like this rooster. All right, I'm not going to do any more out here. I'm just going to let this go. And I'm going to grab a bamboo brush, just one of these over here. Still had them laid out from yesterday's demo. And I'm going to take this number 3. I'm always talking about the number 3. And I'm always talking about a number 1. Which is right here, I think. Yep. So I've got those two. I'll take that one right there. Lay them out, and I'm just going to get some clean water, and I'm going to paint this roux with water first, and then I'm going to take, I'm going to stay out of my pan. I may use this. This is American Journey Colors, just squeezed into these half pans. I get them in the tubes. This is, of course, Dr. P.H. Martin's, and this is not ink, okay? This is not ink. This is liquid watercolor. Is there a difference? Well, yes, you can use watercolors as ink if you add water to it, but this is just it's a pretty concentrated watercolor. I keep them in my Apple phone box. There they are right there. I think a jar of this is about $7 or $8, maybe a little more than that. But I'm telling you, this, unless you're just painting billboards for, some company somewhere, this is going to last you for eons, okay? Okay, what's an eon? More than a year or two, okay? Unless you just paint with it every day and you pour it out or spill it. Put the lids back on. All right, here we go. So I'm going to start right here, and I think I'm going to do something different than I've normally done. I'm just going to start with the little red, and I'm just going to go in here, and I'm going to start, because I'm right-handed, I'm going to start over here and then come back this way so I don't have to put my hand over the painted material. I'm just dropping a little bit of this red right in here with the eyedropper, just a little bit. See that right there? Okay, and that's plenty of red. I might just put a spot right there and just let it be for a minute. Now I'll probably stick my hand in that, but I'm going to grab a smaller brush and I'm just going to wet it. This is a little bamboo number 1, and I'm going to come in and I'm just going to add a wet damp brush and pick up that watercolor and just push it in here. Okay, so I'm just letting my arm kind of be free and just making some holidays and not trying to fill in every little piece. And so there I have a pretty good concept of how that works. I'm going to grab a little bit of gamboge. These are the same colors that I would use if I were painting out of my blocks. Pick up a little bit of gamboge there. That's going to be plenty. Watch this. I'm just going to grab my spray bottle and I'm just going to dust this just a little. If I can get the spray bottle to spray. Let's see. These are just little Mystic bottles. I mean, literally. I just sprayed it just very lightly right there. And I'm going to take this brush, go back in. I'm just going to grab this yellow and just tie it together just like this and just let it kind of come down. I hit the red there, and I'm just going to let that run. You see what it's doing? It's just running itself. It's creating its own orange there. I'm going to grab my number 3 brush and come back here, and I'm going to do some feathers. And by the way, those of you who watched the show yesterday with Yasutoma, when Karen is making the leaves, she's pronounced in her stroke. I'm doing a similar thing. I'm starting an arc in the air. I'm touching the paper. I'm pressing a little bit with the water, and I'm pulling up. I'm doing a similar motion, but I'm just trying to get some water in here to create a little bit of action. Watch when I touch this red paint right here. Boom. Okay, it's just going to move a little bit, and I'll shake. See, oh, it just shot down there, and I didn't touch it. So now I'm going to go get some of this blue, and I'm going to just take the ultramarine blue, drop it in. I know some of you see me do this 100 times. Okay, 200. Well, there, I just threw it all over the place, but that's probably more than I need. It just got stuck in the dauber and went. Let me clean this up before I mess it up on something else. And also, this red took over, so I'm going to touch it like this and pull some of that red out of there. See, I did an eraser right there. I'm going to take this same brush, damp but clean, and just start pushing some of this ink around like so. And then I'm going to let it just go in with this red. I want a little bit of yellow back here because I want some green in this roof. So I'm just going to put a drop right there and maybe a drop right here. And I wish the dauber in that other one, is that what you call it? I don't know. And I'm just going to grab a little bit. I want some green. So if I take that blue and add it here, I'm just going to get this cool green that just is in on his body like that. I love that dark feather up at the top. And my paper is beginning to bow up a little bit. Why? Well, because of the amount of water that I've laid on this. So I'm going to anchor it down a little bit right there. I put an anvil on it. I guess some people use rocks or, I have some rocks. Look at this rock. Is that a cool rock? That rock's from the shore of Kennebunkport. I picked that up, and I thought, what a great rock to sit on my desk and stack pens against or brushes, and that's what it does. It keeps them from falling off. So I'm just going to grab a little bit here. I'm going to grab a little bit of this orange red and bring it down right here, and I'm going to throw a little bit of that in there. I'm liking this green this morning. I'm thinking that's a cool color. All right, so now if this is a little too much blue, I'm going to go in here and watch this. You can erase watercolor a little bit. I'm going to come right here and just pick up some of that and absorb it just like that. Now, it's a good way to mess your tile up, your floor, or your shirt, or your scarf if you're wearing one, which is the reason I'm wearing something different today around my neck, because I knew I was going to be painting with these yellow watercolor. But what I want to do now is I want to just come in here and I want to just bring some rough in, and I want to take my brush, clean bamboo brush, and let's just give me a little piece. I need some music to do this with. I need some piano. There we go. Jason Nichols, thanks, buddy. Glad you're on the show. Linda Schleitning, I think I said hello to you. Joy, Rhonda Dehart, all the way from Faith, North Carolina. Got the faucets dripping, Patricia Evans says. Yeah, no kidding. Going to be chilly where you people are. Golly. I'm here complaining about my scarf getting dirty and having something around my neck, and you guys are freezing to death. I'm sorry. I'm going to take this brush right here. Watch. Cleaned out, so number 1, I'm going to take it. I'm going to roll this in the orange paint, just right there, right on the neck of this rooster. See that? And then I'm going to use that to go in here and paint the legs of my rooster with. Music sounds like I'm on a game show. So when I pick up paint using my painting as the palette, the colors really complement each other well, because you go, ooh, look at that. I didn't go over here and introduce a new color that I wasn't even expecting. Of course, in using the primaries, which is all I've done, yellow, blue, and red, I have a full spectrum of the rainbow. Look, there's some purple, there's some beautiful green, there's a little phthalo blue, here's almost a black, and then I'm going to let this green come out. So I'm just letting some of that green dance down in there. I didn't use green on this. I just picked up that yellow and let it run in. I think this is getting a little dark for me right here. See that right there? I'm going to come in and just touch that and lighten it up just like that. I like that. I think I need a little bit of red there, so I'm going to touch some of this red and bring it back in. I like that orange. I want some splatters right there too. I think you need, that's why, I should have done that with that brush. Well, that hurt. Okay, time out. That's better. That splatter went right there. I couldn't see a thing. Okay. All right, so I'm going to pull a little bit of this off the back edge right here. I want that green to pop through, and I want this blue to come down just in it just a little bit. Now, if I really wanted it to change, watch this. I'm just going to pick up my painting like this, and I'm going to let it sweep down over it. See that? I'm letting it come down. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a wave of this blue that's riding down just like this. And then I'm just going to let this brush ring out here. Need a little bit of bright yellow right in here on the bottom of his head. There it is right there, coming down. Just a touch of this. And then I'm going to add some wiriness to this rooster. Here's what I'm going to show you I'm going to do with that. So I need a little bit of something to hold this up. Let's see, what have we got? Use the edge of my notebook right there. Okay, I want him to be slanted just a little bit. So I've lifted him up 3/8 of an inch in the back on the edge of this book. So now it's tilted, okay? This is why I don't tape everything down flat. I also can't paint watercolor like this unless I'm doing this massive sky wash. But what I can do every now and then is lift it up and just let the colors run down. And I like how they just come to a puddle, and I'm gonna let them dry there, and it'll be dark. And it takes this paint a little longer than your normal tube color watercolors to dry. But I want to come in with my pen. There's what I should have been ringing from my bell last night. Listen to that. Oh, is that cool? That's my stolen syrup tray. I really like those tail feathers today. Yeah, Terry Tardy. Thank you. That's because if we push really hard right in there, we might get a little bit of turquoise. See, without me even adding some, Terry Tardy turquoise has made it in just from the primary colors. Okay, you're on a game show. That's what the music sounds like, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. It drives me batty a little bit, but I played it. All right, here we go. Cookie Hansel. Hey, Cookie. I don't know that I've said hello to you before, so welcome to the show. All right, thanks for being on. All right, here we go. Watch this. I'm just going to go boom, 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 boom. I'm taking my pen now, and I'm doing a little bit of detail. And the thing I love about this pen is if I keep it clean, if I keep it clear, sometimes I have to get a clean piece of paper towel and just clean it up a little bit. And I know some of you have done this over and over where you've said, hey, I think I ruined a pen today. Give it a break, take it apart, put it into a little bit of bleach, clean water. You might rescue it. All right, so now here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do a little cross hatching down here. Remember, I'm just going one way with these lines, okay? What do you mean one way? They look like they're going both ways. No, I'm just making the mark in this direction. I'm not going scrabble, 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 back with pressure down. I'm lifting it up and just letting my lines come this way. Just close little lines together, and then I'm going to turn it and just kind of go this way. Now I'm making the lines uphill. And then maybe some downhill, just a little extra cross hatching right in here. Why? Because I want this to be a little darker underneath. I'm going to take my small bamboo brush. I'm going to get this big one out of the way, get it cleaned up a little bit, lay it down. I used to have a brush rest. I don't know what I did with them. It was arrested. Oh well, big deal. I don't see it. They were, I blacksmith them. They were kind of cool. They were, oh, here they are. Up here. Yeah, there's one. There's one right there. It's a little leaf that I actually forged. There it is right there. And my brush lays right in there like that. See? Okay. Yeah, one day I didn't have anything to do, so I went out to my blacksmith shop and I made myself a little leaf to to hold there. Can you see it? Because my big old head's in the way. There it is right there. Just a little leaf. That's my brush rest. In case the brush gets tired. All right, I'm gonna grab this, and then I'm just gonna, this is clean water, and just sweeping the clean water in there like so. Got a piece of red in there, I noticed that. I'm gonna reach in here and get some of this green right here, and a little bit of yellow right there, and I'm just gonna come in here and let that, using the palette again. And here's where I'm just gonna use a flick of this brush to create just some wayward grass strokes that kind of blew up in the way there. I like what happened in this red right here. It's probably hard to see on camera, but it was just a little drip of red that had hit there. And when the ink from the pen and the red hit together, I got this almost purple, which is a lot of shadows. If you go outside and look, you're going to see a lot more purple in the atmosphere than you think. It's out there. All right, so now I'm just going to get kind of creative. I'm going to roll this brush in some of this and just put in some little beauty spots by just shaking it like that, just letting it just kind of fall where it will. And just also dust some of this into the grass to dirty it up. And I'm kind of liking this roux right here. There's only one thing I'm going to add to it, and watch this. I'm going to add it right here. I'm going to take some titanium white. So I'm introducing a new color. Here's why. I got a little heavy with the water in here, in my opinion. It's my painting. I got a little heavy with the water. I wish I'd have left more of a holiday right in there, just some white paper. But I also like it sometimes on roosters when there's this group of feathers that just pop out and they're white. So this is white, dark hydrous paint, fine art watercolor. It's titanium white. Just give it a little shake there. And I'm just going to take the dropper and just stay up about, golly, 7 or 8 inches and just let one drop go down right there and maybe one right. Come on, I'm waiting on you there. Okay. So those 2 drops fell. See those? Watch this now. I'm just going to grab a straw right here and I'm going to lean in and I'm just going to blow that dot this way. I'm done. I create a little bit of looseness in there just to let those tributaries, and I don't know if that's even a word in watercolor, but to me it is, because I think of the ponds and the rivers and all those little topo maps where you have the little river tributaries. This is what this looks like to me. After all, it's watercolor. And so that kind of goes out. I like this painting because I love the fact that it's so loose and it has all these holidays, those spaces that give it light and life. I would have loved to have that been natural, but I kind of like what's happening in there right now. In fact, I could come in with a little bit of, see, watch now. Here's where you just kind of, I'll just roll a little bit of this right here in this orange red, and then maybe just swipe it right through there like that. Oh, look at that. Just lighten that up just a little. Woo. You probably can't even see, well, you can see it just a little bit on camera. Sorry about that, but it's just the way, and then I think what I need to do is just create a little bit of messiness here. I'm going to do that with a little bit of pen too. I'm going to come back in with my pen and I'm just going to create some wiriness. And here's where I'm letting my pen almost be like a tiny, tiny paintbrush. I'm letting it pick up some of the colors and pick up a little bit of shadows here. And I need a little bit of yellow. Where can I grab some yellow? Right there. There's a spot. And just pink up on that. Beautiful. And then even around the eye. Right there. I like that. I like a little dark coming down off that comb right there and here. See, I'm using this as the palette. So don't forget you have this opportunity to reach into your paper with a tiny brush and just make things happen. So this needs a couple squiggles down here. Needs some little hair follicles coming out. You need some toenails, which we'll have to come back and highlight when it dries a little bit. Maybe a little orange right here. There's some orange right there. I think this leg needs a little more shadow orange on it right there. That's too much. I ran into that green down there, and that went right into the foot. And so you have to erase sometimes. You erase with a paper towel. So there's a little bit of fidgeting and fussing. There's something happening right here that I'm just going to let it go as much as I can. I'm going to move this painting, but right here, let me right here at the end of my pen, this green is making those mushroom bleeds, those tributaries into this yellow, and I like what's happening there. It's a good look, and it'll give me a feature a texture in the body of this rooster that is really something I couldn't paint. There's just no way I could have painted that. It wouldn't have come out. Now I'm going to grab a little bit of blue right here, and I don't want that to be too. And I'm going to grab a little blue right here and just splatter some little sky spots in there just off my hand, just tapping this brush very gently like this. And I think I'm finished with that painting. I like it. So, Cookie, you've been welcomed, it looks like. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Love the fact you're commenting today. Thanks for sharing my show. Thanks for liking the show, too. Looking to see if there's any questions. This root tops my list of my faves. Thanks, Jason. Yeah, he turned out pretty well. And you'll love this paper, too. If you haven't had Kilimanjaro watercolor paper, it's 100% rag cotton. I'm just going to tell you, it rocks. It's pretty cool. All right. Okay. I'm going to set him aside and see how he dries by the end of the show. So I'm going to lay him very carefully right over there. And just let it be. All right. So now I pulled off a couple other of the what I call the sketch sheets or the layer sheets in between. And I want to show you something. I don't know if this will work on this or not. I haven't tried it, but we're going to see. It made me think of once Kilimanjaro gets some of this Tory paper back in, the paper we were talking about yesterday, I want to try some of that, and I'll give you I'm going to try to get them to send me some, and I'll give you guys a little rundown on what it's like. I think we need to be a part of that. All right. So, I'm always painting little peeps. And I was thinking yesterday with what I'm learning with brush techniques with ink and bamboo brushes, because I do believe that I've been using the bamboo brush, not wrong. I use it for my purpose and my style. In fact, that's what kind of tied me to Yasutoma. They had a video of me using their brush, and they went, we have to say, we don't have anybody that uses our brush like that we know of. And we saw you doing this whimsical art, and a lot of their folks do what I would call serious art. And it's all precise and measured. And they say, but you just sort of jump around and you do this thing that Karen said it yesterday. She and I have like styles like that. You kind of dance the brush around, and I'm going like, that's because I couldn't dance. So my brushes do the dancing for me. But my point is that using the brush, there's so many techniques and so many things this brush can do. And so I wanted to just grab a little bit of this ink this morning, and I had an idea, and I'm going to run it off and see what happens. So here we go. I'm always painting peeps, right? I always paint these little peeps, and they look like my styles because they're storytelling peeps. And here's one right here. This is how I paint the peeps. I just paint a little beak like this, and then I do this little tuft of hair, and then I just kind of go down like this with his body. And he's got this, his tail hadn't developed yet, so there's his little tail. He's got some wings, and he's got this little knob of a chicken leg. He comes down. This is a bigger size, but I do them smaller. And then maybe this foot's going back here, and it's up like this. So these are my little peeps right there. Okay, pretty simple. You see that? And I just reach in here into my gamboge over here, little American Journey colors. Right here they are. I'll just grab a little bit of gamboge, and then I just sort of go in and I start just letting this dance like this and up into here like so. These are the little peeps that I normally do in my stories. I've been doing this for 10 years. These have been my little peeps. I know that people draw little Easter chicks, like this with these little fuzzy heads and their little fuzzy bodies, but I wanted mine to be, and that was okay for a little guy who's just hanging around up on the side over here. In fact, it works really well, and so I want it, and I'd like that. It's still my style. Can you see that? That looks like that to me. I can't change the big. It's just how I make my M on my name. It's become my voice. You look at this and you go, oh, we know who painted that, Roo. Everybody's going to paint roosters, but mine's going to look differently. Yours is going to look different. It's going to have your spin on it. It's going to have your touch. It's going to have who you are. So there's the kind of the way that I normally would draw a little peep. And I thought, but I know little Easter peeps when you get them and they come to your house, which I'm glad we don't do that anymore, except for real chickens. Uh, I've got a thermos somewhere. Here it is. I did go down, or before I came up to my desk this morning, I went through the kitchen and mm-hmm, much better. Okay, so I'm going to grab this this brush right here. This is that number 3 all-purpose Yasutoma brush. It's got SW on it, but it says all-purpose. And I'm going to just grab a little bit of ink. So I'm going to pull this tray forward that I used yesterday on the Yasutoma show. There it is right there if you can see it. This is dark ink, Sumi ink. This is a much lighter ink here because I just put a drop in there and then I basically wound up dropping a tablespoon, maybe 2 tablespoons of water in there and diluting it. I probably need one more version. And I almost wish I had some yellow here, but I don't see any. Let's see. What if I clean this out real fast? Can I do that without messing up something big time here? Let's try this. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. And let me just try something completely different if I'm just going to be radical as ever. Let's just take a drop of this. Put it in there. And let's just spray a little water down in there and see if that's going to give me some yellow. Ooh, yeah, look at that. That's killer. All right, so I'll use my liquid watercolor and just diluted it even more so. So let's dilute it even more so. Let's add a little more water to it. It's all trial and error. Somebody asked that question yesterday about controlling water on shows like this. I'm going to do this on this fly paper, and then I'm going to try it on a piece of watercolor paper. So this is an experiment. Might as well get into some experimental music here. Let's see. All right, here we go. So first thing I'm going to do is clean this brush out. I'm going to lay this right here. I'm probably going to need some more paper towels. Do I have any? I should just have the whole paper towel department on loan here. I should be sponsored by Bounty. They're not a sponsor yet. Okay, or Viva or somebody. Okay, so here we go. I'm just gonna grab a little bit of this in my brush, and I'm going to the one that's diluted. I don't think it's diluted enough, so I'm gonna throw a little more water in there. It might be, we'll see. All right, and then I'm just gonna touch a little dark spot here, and I'm just gonna put my brush down and make a little fuzz ball right here, just sort of like this. Yeah, I could use some darker ink in it. All right. That was tough, wasn't it? And then let's see. I need a belly here, like so. And then I need an undertone back, like that. Then maybe with a little knob here, I need the drumstick coming down. And then I'm going to lighten up on this brush. Watch this. I'm just going to come in with a little bit of a leg. And I'm barely touching this brush here. That's going to be the wing. And then let's see the top of the head. I'm gonna do a little beak right here, just like this. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of a clean brush. I'm gonna take a little bit of this yellow, and I'm just gonna drop it right in here like that, and this baby back here. And I think I just painted a chick on this paper. Ta-da! It works. Now I'm gonna try that on watercolor paper. So this is, I'm going to see what this is doing on the back side. Yeah, it's going through, which I would expect it a little bit. There it is right there. There it is. It's upside down. But it works almost like a piece of nice sketch paper. Well, it is good sketch paper, but it works not as loose as rice paper. Rice paper is pretty remarkable. I could probably grab a little of this yellow and just touch the beak right in there, just a little bit. Give that out. And then I have this little chick that's it's just that simple. Oh my gosh, okay. Looks like a little chick. Thank you, Laura Bellucci. Hey, Roo, Yasutoma sending you a porcelain doggy bowl so you don't have to use your Pilfer, borrowed metal dish. Yeah, I think they felt sorry for me. I looked around, they go, I don't mix paints like this, or I don't mix ink, so I went, oh, I have this, and it is my pilfered one, and it came from a very nice place, so it gives me great memories. And I was painting with this at up in Virginia at the what is the place called? I don't even know where we stayed. Very nice place in Virginia. We were actually given a trip to go there. Some friends paid for us to have a week experience, a 4-day experience there. One morning, we were sitting there. She brought me some jam in one of these, and I said, "Hey, can you bring me one of those that's clean? I'm working on a little art project." She goes, "Sure." So I put it in my little backpack and carried it down to the fly fishing creek, and then I carried it around the next day, and then I conveniently forgot to take it back. But seriously, when I got home, I had it, and I thought, I like it. It has a nice ring to it. So does the story, right? So I just kept it. All right, so there's a little, let's try this on watercolor paper. See what happened there? Boom. Just like that. That's kind of cool, huh? I like it. Looks like the peep has been in the coal bin. Yeah, well, let's try them with a couple little different colors. Let me find a piece of watercolor paper here. See if I have a scrap piece. Oh, there's a piece right. Oh, that's where I was working on those other colors yesterday. So here, on the back of this is... what is this? This is fluid 100. No, this is just fluid paper. All right, so here we go. Same thing on watercolor paper. Let's put in there. Let's drop a bit here, and let's just do that. Let's do that little round circle, and then let's put his back in like this. And now I'm not being so careful. Have you noticed? Let's go down here with the drumstick, and then let's just cut the little leg coming down like this, and then maybe this one here comes down. It's got a little knob right there, and then come down like this, and then let's do a little beak, and I'm using this big old brush to do this, but I think I'm going to get by with it. Okay, let's just put it right there. Oh, and then let's put a little of that color in there. Clean brush. Now I just raced on that one. I didn't even slow down. I just went pretty quick. So I wanted to see what would happen if I did. I can't get any of that yellow in the right place because it's so. Let's see what happens. I'm going to drop some of it in there. I think what I'm going to do is take some of this out right here. I just probably got a little too dark, and I'm going to drop a little of that yellow in there and just splatter and see what happens. I kind of like where this is going. So that gives you a little idea of their baby bird, and that's just, the mind is remarkable when it starts to find objects in this. And so, guys, you got to realize that didn't take me very long. I just go, okay, it's got a little head like that drip right there. And so I'm just making this knob like this. This one's looking up this way. And then his body's going to come out like this. I'm just letting this dance. Here's the little drumstick coming down. And then the little leg comes in like this. Take some of that out of there and put it back here on his body. His little head's darker. And then here, this leg is coming over here like this. It's got a little knob ankle, comes down. And then let's touch some of that yellow in there like so. And I put the yellow in there just to enhance that he's, look at those peeps, look at those birds. So you see why I love experimenting with this sort of thing. I mean, because some people think, oh my gosh, how could I paint that? I don't know where I start to draw first. I'm not drawing first. I'm just making a mess. I'm just jumping in here and I'm going like this. I'm touching my brush in this, and I'm going to do another one right here. And I'm just going to just let the little peeps look up like this, and then I'm going to just let it come down. And do I care how rough they are? No, I don't. I'm just going to do the legs down like this. And then I'm doing this leg back behind that one, and it's up. And then I'm going to grab some of this right here and drop it in. And I want to create this little beak out a little farther like so. And maybe a little more yellow. Just drop it in there like this. And then I suddenly have this little painting that's just come to life. Okay, so... basically, what I do have to learn to do is that I have to lighten up, okay? And it's hard for a blacksmith to learn to not want to hit everything with a hammer. And sometimes we use our brushes as hammer. What's that old analogy that if you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. You just go, oh, I'll hit that, I'll hit that, I'll hit that. And I do go rough sometimes, but I have told this to many blacksmiths in my trade, my hobby trade. There is as much finesse and maybe more finesse in blacksmithing than there is just brute strength where you just beat the fool out of something. That is such an important thing for you to learn, that just because you have a dainty brush doesn't mean you treat it like it's a hammer. Okay? And so what I've wound up with here is this cool little drawing that that I'll just go in here and dance a little bit of this color across. I need a little bit of, I just had some green. Watch this. I'll put a little grass under these birds and they're just going to be perfect. Maybe they're out there. Maybe they're out in the shrubbery somewhere, and they're taking a little trip in the so. All right, so there's how to create a little painting. Come on, if I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning, I'd hammer in the evening, I'd put down the hammer. And I lived on that block. I wrote an article for a landscape magazine years and years ago when I thought I was going to be a writer, which is funny because I have the editorial gifts of orangutan, but I literally was, I wrote this article for this grounds maintenance magazine, and there were two articles. One was the A1 Abrams tank. Everybody needed the Army tank for their farm because you could shoot in post holes and you could pull out the stuck tractors. And but the other one was you just needed two tools in your shop. You needed a 5-pound hammer, which was called a thumper, and you needed a 2-pound hammer, which was called a tapper. And you needed both of them with a piece of 10-foot chain fastened onto the handle and locked down on the workbench so that no one could take them out in the field and lose them, but they stayed there all the time. You only need two tools. You bring something in, you hit it with the tapper, it doesn't work. You hit it with the thumper, the 5-pound one, it breaks. Well, it needed replacing anyway. And that was the whole article. I just gave you the Reader's Digest version, which is probably why they didn't publish it. But they actually sent a note back and said, this made us all laugh. We're sorry that we can't use it because people would think you're being serious. And I'm going like, I was. And especially at camp shops, you know, just get rid of all the wrenches and just get two big old hammers, the thumper and a tapper. And then I played golf that way. You know, I played golf one year with Jeff Foxworthy at the North Georgia Golf Club. And I said, you know, Jeff, you and I are out here just to hear about the organization of Young Life, and I'm supposed to be riding with you playing golf, but I don't really play the game. I only going to use two clubs today. I'm going to use a thumper, this driver, and I'm going to use a tapper, this putter, and that's it. Everything else, I'm not going to worry about the bag. So I'm just going to carry these two around, and we had a great time. And so I told him that story, but they do. And Jason, you are so right. This has a very much, you use this brush and you use this ink and it's going to look like an Asian style, which I really do like. I think it's a fun little style that works. And so I can also come in right here and just pick up a little more on this head and put an eye in there. And I've got this great little sketch. It's three little chickens out in the yard, and they're out on an Easter candy hunt. They wouldn't be on an Easter egg hunt because that wouldn't make a bit of sense. Here's the first one dried if you want to see it on this kind of paper. There it is where I was gingerly being careful with the paper. So 3 birds walk into a bar for sake. Oh my gosh. Oh. You ain't right, Kim Sheets. You're as crazy as everybody else in this world who writes. Look at this. That wasn't supposed to be on there, but I dropped it into the wet paint over there, and this piece too. So anyway, these are going in the scrapyard, but I just wanted to show you how that could come together. I'm going to throw this one away too, but there they are. Boom. Little demonstrations that could happen if you just did it. So that's as simple as that. And there is just paint everywhere. Let me throw this in the trash before. This is why when you're working with liquid watercolors, you don't wear a nice shirt. Um, all right. Threw that one away, and this one's going to the trash pile too. So, okay. Ripped him up. He's in the trash. Now I got to wash my hands if I can do that. And let's do one more quick thing in 5 minutes, and then I'm out of here like a herd of turtles. And off to the bunny trail for them. Yeah, you bet they are. Yeah, that was a sad thing, wasn't it, Melina, that we used to dip it's not art unless you wear it. Unless we used to dip baby birds in dye and sell them at Easter. Yeah, we were marketing cruel human beings, and we still do goofy stuff. Come on, I do goofy stuff, but I try not to upset the world in the process. All right, so basically, I wanted to do this rooster for you. I want to show you what he's looking like now as he's drying. There he is, right there. He's beginning to get a little look. You see that little spot where I dropped that ink? I'm gonna adapt that a little bit by taking some blue in here and just running it through that, because I don't like that circle that appeared from that one round drop. So am I doctoring this a little bit? You darn tootin'. It's my painting. I can do what I want to it. So I kind of like where this is going. And I think he just needs a caption. He needs to be trimmed like so. And he needs a little more pen. If I had a pen on this desk, if I had a pen, I'd write it in the morning. I'd write it in the evening. I'm going to sign this right here, Roodoodles.com, Michael 2022, I put on there. And I'll give him a caption in a minute. And I might create some more wiriness just up out of here, just to kind of give him some loose feathers like he's been up all night, which is kind of the way I feel right now. I went downstairs last night after I left here, and Carol said, "Can you talk?" And I went, "Well, listen to it." I talked a lot of words last night. So, all right, so I used bamboo brushes this morning. I used some liquid ink, and leave you with one last little piece here that I'll do this morning. I like this rooster. I'm glad I got to do him. I'm going to do one more little, there's a piece of scrap paper. It's got some fishing flies on it. And a note to myself. What's it say? Oh, Lost Kitchen. Hey, if you have not watched The Lost Kitchen, I highly recommend it. It's on one of those cable channels, which you have to subscribe to. But if you get rid of the rest of your TV and just build a few that you like, it's on Discovery Plus. I think it's on the Magnolia Network. I have the Magnolia Network because the show that my son and I, Super Dad, we watched those episodes because we both got to work on that show. He's in the show. I just built a lot of stuff for the show. It's fun. Called Super Dad. Taylor Kalmus is a neat young man, that's a good friend of ours out of Colorado. He's the talent. But there's a show called The Lost Kitchen. Erin French is her name. If you haven't seen it, you need to see it. It takes place in, ready for this? Freedom, Maine. Freedom, Maine. And it's a real heart-wrenching story, but it's just real and authentic, and you'll love it. It's called The Lost Kitchen. If you haven't seen it, and you can get it on one of your cable channels. I think Prime's going to maybe pick it up soon, but right now it's still on Discovery Plus. All right, last little painting real quickly here, and I'm just going to take this loose little number 1 or 1O brush, and I'm going to throw on some a little bit of ink in it, and I'm going to do one of those dragonflies that's coming down right here, and he's going to be coming across the page like this. I'm just going to do the eyes here like so, and then the head of the dragonfly here, and then I'm just going to let this body come out like this. I'm going to press this down and then drag it in, and press it down and drag it in, and going out like this. And then there's the dragonfly body. I might widen it up just a little bit right here. And there's my dragonfly body. What I might do when that dries a little bit, and I've got 2 or 3 minutes here to go, is just drop a little bit more of some orange or a different color in there. But I want to take this and I want to pull some wings in, and I think I'm just going to use some of this green and yellow over here, and I'm just throwing some extra water into this American Journey green. And I've loaded this brush, and I've loaded it with some green paint, just spring green. Just laid it in the spring green here and rolled it around and around like so. I'm just going to touch the edge of it into this black ink right there. And then I'm going to start right here, and I'm just going to let this come down and be the wings of this dragonfly just by pushing it out like this. and just dancing it out like that till it comes down. Look at that. And then I'm going to do the same one more time, just a little bit right here by pushing it out just with a smaller wing. Maybe that was a little darker. Heck yeah, it was. Looked like I planned it, but then I'm going to let this one just dance out like this and just kind of go out here. And then this one maybe come in with a little darker down here like so. And so I have this dragonfly that just has this, and if that is a little too dark right here, I can just go in and watch this. I'm going to take some of that up and just hit it like that and maybe come back in with a little water and just soften that one up just a little bit more. Could add a little more green to this one out here and then lighten that. So I'm erasing as I go. I'm literally erasing watercolor and ink, and you got to admit that's kind of fun. So I hope you're learning to play like this. Watch this. I'm going to grab some orange. I just like orange on the tails of these, and I'm just going to drop some orange in there with a wet brush, just like this. And this is what I do when I'm just playing, okay? I'm just going to lay some of this down on the side like that and just let it kind of come together and run into there like so. And then I'm going to grab a little bit of that spring green. I'm just going to drop it in the eyes right here. And then maybe a little bit of Terry Tardy turquoise. And just lay that right on the back right here. And I'm going to finish with this stroke right here. And then I have this dragonfly that probably needs a little bit of yellow splatter around him just like this. And then maybe just a touch of blue in the sky. And I have painted a dragonfly. Boom. 20 minutes a day to play. That's exactly right, Pat. You got it. 8:57, you add it up, and it's 8, 5, and 7. It equals 20. If you played like this for 20 minutes a day, I'm just going to tell you, your art will change. Your grandkids will love you for it. They'll go, my grandfather, my grandmother was an artist and just had the most fun I've ever seen painting crazy things that just we found in nature. How fun is that? Okay, last thing I'll do before I go, watch this. I'm going to go right in here, and I'm going to come up like this and go out and just put some little legs on that dragonfly like this. And that dragonfly is done, except for one little piece of Terry Tardy turquoise right there. There it is. Finished. Do I have to go in and do all the details in the wings? No. Roodoodles.com. Hey, that's how you can find me. Later today, I'm going to have some I'm going to have some different little pieces that didn't sell last night, or I didn't even offer up to sell last night. I love this comment right here because it's my life. Own a wing and a prayer. There's a little painting. I'll put that on Etsy later today, and he'll just take off. Oh, sometimes you just can't stop, can you? Whoa, I like it. I like it. I like it. Boom. All right. Hey, everybody, thank you for being on the show today. I will, let's see, Monday, I may or may not see you, depending on what the weather's like. I have to go do a project that fell through this week simply because I was off and running to do it, but all the materials did not get shipped in to the job site. And so there's a chance that I'll be leaving. Nope, you know what? I think I'm here. I think I'm here, and then I'm leaving after that. So I'll try to see you Monday morning. Lord willing, I'll see you there. Go be creative today. Right now, it's Saturday morning, cold in places. Everybody stay warm. Here's what I want you to do. Take a sip of your tea right now. Come on. I toast to you, creative people who think like artists. Think of somebody right now that you need to send a note to today. Just send them a little note and say, hey, appreciate you. Glad you're in this world. And I was thinking about you today because I was being creative, and this made me think of you. There you go. Send that out. Here we go. I'm out of here like a herd of turtles. Hey, thanks for loving this show. Thanks for sharing this show. And thanks for being a part. If I hadn't said that 100 times today, I feel it.